G'day, and welcome back to... Actually, it's not another episode of... This is something completely new. G'day, and welcome to a one-off live stream of Australia Grand Prix... I can't even say my own country. An Australian Grand Prix replay. Hee. Oh, Tomo, you crazy fool. Why don't you get some sleep? But no, me gonna hang out and try to provide some fun and laughs and a bit of racing along the way. Anyways, so I've created a new character to help me with me racing, getting used to the game still. I haven't quite got my head around the new cars and the way the new game plays, so yeah, I created this character, Tyjon Keenan Stackpole, and started an offline save, but I had an unexpected good result, so I was in such a happy mood I wanted to share it with everybody. Anyway, so I'll get rid of the little control thingy and start the camera rolling, and off they go. And it looks like I think it was Keenan on pole got the jump start, and there I am coming through from 20th place. Oh no, sorry, 15th place. Yeah, that's right. I got into Q2, and holy shit, I'll just put on a one set of tyres and dawdle around. I had a good start. Alonso had an even better start and got around me, and he started battling with me and pushing me all around the place here. A bit of a slide on there, bit of a tank slapper. And yeah, shit me tits, he's blown any chance I had of trying to fight and get amongst the guys in front of me, the top 10, and maybe slow them down and give my two-stopper strategy a bit of a chance. But yeah, so I was like, damn you Alonso, and you bloody awesome starting. Yeah, so now I'm right up his ass and I decide to sneak down the inside there. But yeah, he tries to squeeze me out, but the Honda engine was no match even for the year-old Ferrari, and I get past him, and I thought, alright, now let's see if we can get up to the other lads up in front of us. So we're up to 15th, I think it was at this point. Let's see, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16... Yeah, 15th, back to where I qualified. Start of the second lap. So yeah, after this here little one-off stream, we'll be getting stuck into me practice sessions for the next race. After Britain, I do believe it's Germany is race 10, unless I'm very much mistaken. Like Murray Walker used to say in his commentating. Oh, I love the old Murray Walker commentated races. There. I think that I do race better when I don't have the pressure of the camera and the headset on me. I think the headset kind of takes a bit of my concentration off. Yeah, when I can just sit there and relax, I tend to do better. So I've got to just figure out how I can do that with the headset on me, and while I'm also using part of the brain to plait me gums and give you a bit of commentary of what's happening. Oh, there we go, I dive it up the inside of, I think that was Kvyat, yeah, that was Kvyat. And so, started on lap, I think it's on to lap 3 now. It might be lap 3, I'm pretty sure it's lap 3, unless I've missed one. And now I'm starting to try to see if I can catch up. I think it's Magnussen is the first one. Yeah, I think Grosjean's further up the order. And the two Renaults there, as Hulkenberg is behind Palmer, and I think he stays behind him for most of the race. Yeah, it is a nice looking car, the old Sauber. It's just not very fast. In practice and qualifying, the best I have got was about 2.5, maybe 2.7 seconds off the leaders. And so, as you can see, Kvyat was all over my ass, and I'm doing my best to shove him around and not give him a crack down the inside there, so that I could fob him off and try to get on after the Haas and the two Renaults in front of me. And I think this is the lap that DRS is available now, I believe. Yeah, I think we've done 3 laps, and I think this is the start of the 4th lap. Or DRS was already available, but anyways, there we go. Yep, I've got the DRS flappy flap open and starting to gain some ground on the Haas in front of me. So there it is, going good again. I think I take a dive up the inside. Here we go, there we go, haha. And it is number 20 Magnus, and I thought so. And I've chosen number 74 for Stackpole because it's another one of my lucky numbers. I just love his name because it suits my style of racing. To stack it or to bang it on pole, to win or bin. And I think I've done a good job with designing his helmet, so it's kind of Jamaica-ish. Jamaica-ish. Oh, I like to come up with strange new words to the vocabulary. If I can't think of a way to describe something, or trying to give someone an estimate of what time I'm gonna do something or be somewhere, I'll just add ish onto the end of it. Oh, I think I'll be there about 2 p.m.-ish. And now coming to complete that lap, I think we're starting the 5th lap now. Starting to get on the back, up the bum of the 2 Renault chums. I actually got through this race without any bloody rewinds too, so it's the first time I've done that for a while. I think I'd have to go back. I don't know if I've done a race in the Journeyman series without that. I might have had one, maybe. But yeah, I think I'd have to go back to a 2016 game for the last time, so it felt good to just get into a flow and just chase down people, chase, because I gave myself about 4 or 5 laps of extra fuel just to see what I could do, and yeah, I've got Hulkenberg all over me like a bad rash there. Nice little bit of speed gain there, and then I've got a little bit of a lunge here, very cheekily cut him off, and I'm past Jolyon Palmer there. Now coming out of the last corner, I had some hairy moments with that corner in practice until I settled on what wings I wanted on the car and a bit of the suspension setup, and a little bit of tweaking to my setup there, and also I think I changed a bit on the ballast of the car, put a little bit more weight forward to deal with the oversteer, because normally I have trouble with understeer, but I was having difficulties with a bit of oversteer instead. So now I think we've completed 5 laps and we're halfway through the 6th lap now. And yeah, those little tweaks that I made through practice 1 and practice 2. In practice 3 when I practice 2 when I did my qualifying run, and then got down to a nice 1 minute 27 something lap, which was about 2.5 seconds off the fastest guys, and that was the closest I ever got during the practice sessions. And in practice 3 I went onto one of my used set of tyres. I wanted to see what a 10 lap run felt like on the super softs, because I was considering using the super softs for the race, trying to see how long I could go to maybe have two stops, making it an extra 2 stints there on the ultra softs at the end, and with the first stint being on the super softs, and yeah, it was going quite nicely. Oh yeah, there'll be an episode of the career after this. I'm just wanting to. I was quite happy with this result sub in my little offline training session race save, that I just wanted to share it with you lads, to show that I can actually drive the worst car in the grid. After the British Grand Prix was a tits up debacle. But yes, and also gives me a bit of time to catch me breath, because the Formula 1 takes it out of me energy-wise a lot more than the FIFA does. I can do 3 or 4 FIFA back-to-backs, but I could probably only do 2 Formula 1 episodes back-to-back. The 2017 game is tiring me out, I think twice as much as the 2016 game is, because I'm having to think a lot faster, because I'm going faster into the corners, and yeah, I just have not fully adjusted to the new 2017 styled cars that are just that much quicker through the corners, and yeah, even though I'm on a controller, it still does take a bit of energy out of me with not being in best of health at the moment, but I am slowly on the mend. Anyways, I think we're now completed 6 laps into the middle of the 7th lap, and I'm trying to drop Jolie and Palmer off me, but he's just hanging on to me and starting to shit me tits a little bit, and I'm like, piss off mate, piss off Palmer. And so yeah, I think I'm in 11th at the moment. So yeah, he was in his favourite position of 11th until I took it from him, and I think that made him angry. And then all of a sudden, there's a safety car. So I'm right near the pits, and I'm slowing down to try to get my options right so that I can choose what tyres I want. So I lost a bit of time doing that. And I've come in to... I was originally thinking of going onto the softs and going the 20 laps. That's why I slowed down to consider my options. So this is lap 8. Yeah, we just finished lap 7, we're starting lap 8. So I got 21 laps to go, which means I've got to... If I want to... Oh, and my teammate comes in right behind me, had to double stack. Sorry, Werlane. But anyways, yeah, I was thinking, if I can manage to squeeze these tyres out to lap 20 or 21, then that means I can finish the race on another set of the Ultra Softs, and so I get told by the game you can overtake the safety car. It's waiting to pick up the leader, which is all good. And so yeah, I had a sort of split strategy in my mind. If the tyres got too worn come, say, lap anywhere between lap 15 and I think 18, I was thinking, I was going to come in and grab those soft tyres because I knew I could do 10 to 13 laps on them for sure. If I could do 10, 12 laps on the super soft, which was what the original plan was to stop on lap 12, then I could definitely do 13 to 10 laps on the soft. So I sort of was hedging my bets either way, sort of thing. It's kind of a practice race. It's kind of a replay. It's my offline save, but I'm doing as a part of my getting used to the game. But it was a really good result, so I wanted to share it with you. Yeah. So welcome to the stream, Yellow Manimal. It's good to see ya. But yeah, I do agree with Sub-Zero said in the comments during the stream. But the Sauber is one of the better looking cars on the grid, and yeah, I'll have to agree with that. I really like the look of a Toro Rosso. I can't really toss up between the McLarens. Honda has a really good paint job as well. The Toro Rosso has got a Coke bottle kind of look to it, like a shiny metallic beautiful thing, and yeah, they got the colours on that really nice as well. On this one, I'd say would be my favourite 3 on the grid. And I think I also like the look of the Renault car with the yellow and black. It looks a lot nicer than the complete banana yellow car they were last year. You could be onto something there, Yellow. Yeah, so I believe we've completed 8 laps and we're on the 9th lap now, and I'm just trying to catch up to the safety car queue at the moment. If I wasn't so far behind the safety car queue, I probably could have eked my tyres out an extra lap than what I do, but I won't spoiler it and give away the ghost of give away the secret, let out the cat out of the old bag on which lap I do come in. So yeah, what I have learnt from this race that I'm going to try to incorporate into my practice just prior to setting up each episode for you with the Journeyman Challenge series is got to try to pick off as many of the slower practice programs on practice 1. So that's like the track acclimatization, the tyre wear, the fuel one. Probably knock all those off in the first practice session, I think is the format I'm going to go with. And then fast forward the rest of the time. And then practice session 2 and knock off the strategy one and the qualifying one, because they're the faster 2 that I get to do. And then on the third practice session, I'm going to get a used set of tyres of the tyres that I'm thinking of running for the race, and run for about 10 laps to see how they go. So I get the maximum points. Sorry, because you get 1 point per lap, but it's capped at 10 points. So I think we're coming up to lap 10 now. Start the lap 10, and I've just caught the safety car queue. But yeah, so I think I've got a better plan going forward because for the practice sessions, because before I was just rushing through it as quick as I could just to get the episode out, and it was kind of compromising me a little bit for qualifying in the race, and I think I could have achieved better results and had some better races maybe even avoided some of the bingles that I've had by being better set up and better prepared with my car. Turn 4 at Australia. Which one is that? Let's see. Turn 1 and... is the first chicane considered 2 turns or 1 turn? If it is considered 2 turns, the S-bend, it's right and left, that's 2. Turn 3 would be the hairpin. Turn 4 would be the left-hander out of it. Oh, I love that corner if that's the 4th one. If that's the one you're talking about. So I actually love all the corners at Australia. Once I get me set up and I get into a flow, it's one of those tracks that I just absolutely love, because the speed is all about gliding into the corners and getting over the curbs without going too much over the curbs, and getting you can find so much pace in tracks like this and Russia by riding the curbs in the perfect manner. And I like to use either 4-4 ride height front and back, or 5-5 ride height, depending on the... Oh, there's Grosjean pulling up. For a second, when I came down the inside of, I think it was Van Dorn. Oh shit! I passed under a yellow. They're going to tell me to give it back to him, but I got no message, so I kept on tracking. Yeah. Ooh, here we go. A dive up down inside. I think that's Alonso. I think Alonso was ahead of his teammate. And so, I think they've all got older rubber, and I'm frisky on rather fresh Ultra Softs. So I'll start back up into rich mode and keen to have another crack at people after I'd saved up about 2.5, almost 3 laps of fuel under the safety car. My favourite track would have to be toss up between Monza or Sochi. But I'd probably go with Monza if I had to really nail down one. I'm trying to remember what my 3rd favourite track is. It was another one of those tracks that, yeah, you just take a cheeky little bit of curb and it's all about the engine power and flat out speed. Silverstone is another one of my favourites. It would probably be in amongst my top 5 or 7. Basically, I love tracks where there's fast corners and chicanes that, or corners that you can get a bit of curb action going without cutting the corner too back, without cutting the corner too much or losing speed by going over them. And yeah, just yeah, bit of a street circuit kind of feel to it. Mix of a street circuit or a track like Monza sort of thing, you know. That sort of territory. Shit, yeah, I've lost track of what lap we're on now. But I'll remember what lap we're up to when I go into the pit stop. I'm not giving that one away. There, I finally catch up to the Williams. I think that was Massa. So if I remember correctly, I think Stroll was ahead of his teammate in the qualifying order. Pardon me. And yeah, still having a bit of trouble trying to shake Massa. Because, yeah, he's got good kit in his engine to catch up to me with the Mercedes there. So yeah, now I'm just trying to see if I can catch on up to the Renaults again and pass them for the second time in the race. And Massa's still hanging on to me there in the straights, but doing just enough in the corners to keep him from having a little bit of a dig. Whoa, clipped the wall there. As I said, I was using a lot of the road in practice sessions, and I chipped off a few pieces of wing during the practice 1, 2 and 3. Actually no, practice 1 and 2. It was by end of practice 2 and into practice 3 I had it sorted. So I correct myself there as I got too excited with me yabbering. And didn't think before I engaged the old flabber gabber. There's a new one for you. There, here we go. I think we're in about like the 15th lap now. I think maybe 15th, 16th lap. So starting to get closer towards having to make a decision about when I'm gonna pit. If I can make these tyres last, am I gonna be able to catch the Renaults in front of me? So yeah, I'm just watching from a distance Hulkenberg having a sniff at his teammate Palmer. Because there, by now my tyres are starting to go off, and so I come into this corner. It's already starting up a lap, and then I see, hang on, there's one of the Renaults jumping in the pits, and it's Hulkenberg trying to undercut Palmer, and Massa comes in relieving the pressure off my arse, and I thought, ooh, nice, goody. And I realised I had enough fuel to go to neutral mix, I think, so I think I was in lean for a bit there, while I had a tiny little gap to Massa that he wasn't quite getting a slipstream off me in most of the places. And so with a new bit of energy in me step, I'm trying to see if I can hunt down the old Jolyon Palmer. Bit of spring in me step, whatever you want to call it. The red mist. Cut that corner a little bit. I did get a couple of warnings here and there, but didn't do enough to get any time penalties, which is good, because if I'd have got one of those, well, I guess you'll find out about that later. Bit of foreshadowing there. And that time I got the corner nice and clean there. But yeah, for a few laps I was a little bit more cautious into that corner after I'd clipped that cloud of that wall. That gave me a little bit of a shake up. I was like, ooh, that was frisky. Got away with no damage to the wing, which was a jolly good show. I think it was just tyre on wall, just a little bit of a kiss. So I think Palmer might have come into the pits as well, because now he's disappeared. Wow, didn't really catch that. Yeah, so a bunch of other people have come into pits, and I realised, hang on, there's a Ferrari behind me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm in the top 4 or something by now. I think I was like, ended up getting up as high as 2nd. I'm like, oh shit, me tits. I knew I wasn't going to hold on to it, but it was a nice feeling. So I decide down this straight, once Vettel is close enough up me bunghole, I'll just shimmy shake out of his way. But I wasn't just gonna hand it to him in corners that was gonna slow me down too much, because I had to think about my own pit stop strategy and where I was gonna feed back in to try to have a crack with fresh tyres coming back at the lads that have already had their pit stop and are on older rubber. So I block him just a tiny bit cheekily, and I decide once I go through those corners, I think I let him by after this CFR bit, I think. I was gonna let him go by there, but chopping him off there slowed him down a fair bit, and I thought, oh, okay. Well, mate, my next place I can let you by without losing too much is the main straight. So you'll just have to wait till then. Battle, I was thinking. So I go through there, and then into the final corner. So I knew he was going to have DRS, I knew he was going to be up my slipstream, so I just feathered the throttle a little bit so he could get far enough in front of me that I could just follow him through the corner and pick up a tiny bit of a slipstream, just for a little bit until he blasts too far ahead of me. And then I see the other Ferrari coming, which I think was Kimi. I'm pretty sure it was Vettel, then Kimi, coming at me. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll do the same thing again. Just manage me race pace and try not to lose too much. Just wait for him to close in and wait for a straight where yeah, decide to just feather off the throttle there because I saw him coming hard round that corner at me, and yeah, I didn't lose much time at all then. Nice neat little overtake. And now I decide it's time to pop into the pits on lap 20. I made it! I made it to the 20 lap mark because I knew the Ultra Softs could go 9 laps. So I managed to squeeze out, I think it was, had completed 7 laps and started the 8, so about, yeah, so I managed to squeeze an extra 4 laps out of those tyres, I do believe, thanks to the safety car. And I came out just in front of the 2 battling McLaren Hondas. I think Alonso got the better of Van Dorn. I think it was Van Dorn who was behind, was having a crack. And so 9 laps left to run. No more pit stops, it's just balls to the wall driving time. And see what happens if anyone else in front of me still has any stops to go or not. So let's see, I think I came out ahead of the 2 McLarens and Wehrlein, so I think he was, let's see, I think 2 people had retired by now. I think Grosjean and one other had retired, so I think so that would make them 18th, 17th and 16th, so I think I was back into 15th place. I can't remember if I come out in 15th or 16th, if the second person had retired by now. I wasn't really taking notes because I wasn't expecting such a good race. So what I think I'm going to do before I do the second race of this year save is work out how to do just basic recording offline so that I can record all of the races, qualifying and races, so if when it comes time to start the Sauber for Life series down the road at some point, all I got to do is get a little bit of a helping hand from someone to edit it a little bit, just put a bit of spit and polish on it, and then whack a thumbnail on it and all that jazz, and I can start uploading episodes of that at some point in the future. Is a little plan in me head bubbling around. Yeah, this is the kind of strategy that I do prefer, because yeah, my tire usage is not always the best. I always prefer to be coming back at the other cars that are on older rubber with the fresh, softest, fastest rubber available to me at that particular Grand Prix. Sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes I've been able to surprise myself and make a one-stopper work. But if the margins between the one-stopper and the two-stopper is within 5 seconds, I'm more than likely going to go for the two-stopper, because I know I can make up the time on the fresh rubber and end up being a little bit faster than what the one-stop reckons I'll do. It's just going long on one set of tyres with the way I like to drive aggressively, kind of tends to put me into the realm of needing an extra stop anyway. Most of the time. A little bit of a wide moment there. I was trying to push hard on the fresh rubber. I'm not sure if it was this lap or the next lap. I think a couple of people started late pit sort of thing, that had got their strategy wrong with the safety car or something, and needed to come in for an extra set of tyres. And ended up having to race a little bit to hold my position, as they come out not far behind me, if I remember correctly, but we'll just see how we go. So I think I'm now on lap 23, I think. Yeah, I think it's been about 3 laps since I've pitted. I think this is the start of the third lap where I start to settle down and get a good pace going. Oh, pardon me. Oh, out of all the corners, that one seems to be the one I'm struggling with on the 2017 game, that final corner. In the 2016 game, the one I was struggling the most with was the hairpin. And I had a little bit of problems with it in the practice sessions until I started to get the hang of it a little bit better on the worn super softs when I had that 10-lap run in practice 3. I think I took it fairly okay most of the time in the race as well. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, that's what I was doing with the Renault car. I was going for all the general wear bits and pieces, but then but I didn't touch any of the performance things. And when I got to Austria, my lap times, my pace in the practice sessions looked decent enough for around 10th place. I started good in the race. I was up there in the points, and then yeah, I made a bad call on the strategy. I got a little bit wobbly battling with some cars that got mugged off a little bit. And I ended up at the back. I think I come 17th or something like that. Just couldn't make any ground on any of them in front of me. So I think not going for performance as well as some general wear probably hurt me, because the other cars teams were developing as well, I do believe. So in the Sauber, what I'm thinking I'm doing, I've got the general wear, the first one for durability, sorted out, and I've gone for the first quality control. I've got that sorted out with the starting points they gave me. And I've gone for the first upgrade on the chassis to unlock and open up that tech side of the tech tree a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, but yeah, I didn't do any. Pardon me, I didn't do any performance upgrades on the Renault. So at least we're kind of even on that regards in terms of chassis, engine, and the aerodynamics. So if I get busy working on the chassis, I might be able to catch Renault up in terms of where we rank on the chassis side of things, because they had a weakness there on their chassis. That was their weakest part. Which was my plan to start working on that. Had I not got fired, I think I had one more general wear part that I wanted to improve the wear and tear on, and then the next sort of points I was going to spend on the first upgrade on the chassis side of the tech tree. So, oh well, they missed out on that one. So yeah, I think I'm now on about 13th or something now, after I think a couple of cars did a cheeky late pit stop. I think I'm coming down to a couple of races, a few laps left to go. I think we're up to about lap 26, 27, I think maybe with 3 or 4 laps to go. I lost count. Getting distracted talking about the tech tree and stuff. I'll know what lap we are when there's a car closer up my bum. I remember that all too well. gonna have a look who's behind me actually. I think that's the right button. Press down. Here we go. And oh, that's Mercedes. Is that Bottas? I think that is Bottas. Yeah, I think that is Bottas. What's the car in front of me? There's Verstappen. That's right, I was chasing Verstappen for a long time. Yeah, he's closing me in now, getting closer, so I think I'm just about to start the last lap now, because Bottas started to rein me in the last 2 or 3 laps. And I think on that lap, or was it this lap? No, I think it was the last lap. There was a message as I was coming towards the end of a lap. Lance Stroll was out of the race, and I was sitting in 11th by that time from the guys that had come into the pits. And I was like, I'm in the points. And then I see Bottas coming, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the points, and the Mercedes is chasing me. I'm in the Sauber, and I'm like, uh-oh, spaghetti-o. And I think this was the last lap where he started to close right up on me, and oh, squeeze him on the wall. Getting a bit cheeky there. Aussie mongrel elbows out saying, you're not coming past me, mate. And then around the corner there, I think that was the 4th last corner, that's the 3rd last one. Coming up to the penultimate corner, a bit of a hairpin there. And then into the last corner, and I thought I got to break the slipstream, otherwise he'll get me over the line in the drag to the line. And oh, he came close there. And so we bagged 10th place. Hang on, yeah, that was the last lap, and there we go. So Hamilton won from Vettel, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Hulkenberg, Kvyat, Palmer, Ocon, Verstappen, and then Stackpole. Tyjon, Keenan, Stackpole. Get in Jamaica, man. And yeah, the 58.6 behind the leader, and Bottas was 58.8. So just a little bit less than just about a couple of tenths in it there. But anyways, so yeah, that was the race, and I just wanted to share that with you all. So now it's time for me to sign off and get the Journeyman series up and running, ready to go. I do believe we're in race 11, which I think is Germany or Hungary. But anyways, you'll have to find out then. Stone the flaming crows and tickle your dancing dingoes. I'm Tomo, and we'll catch you at the next episode. Goodbye.